we go back to Netflix and we go back to the film that was first mentioned on this podcast today, and the film that is probably going to have the it's Love Hard, people. It's the Love Hard.
Love hard.
Love Hard. Man. If anybody listens to this show and has a little bit of an idea of our different personalities, Sean, Sharon, myself, and wonders, Love Hard. That doesn't sound like the kind of film that Sharon would be watching. So,
No.
so Sharon, tell us. You said a little bit already about how Netflix badgered you into watching this film.
Yes.
Tell us why. Why did you decide to watch this film in the end?
But,
Besides the
um,
Netflix badgering.
yes. I thought it just to me it was just sound like it was slightly different to the usual run of the mill Hallmark type Christmas film that we get battered with every year,
Yep.
which is like a straightforward, a love story basically. And it is that, but it is with a bit of a twist. But I thought it was interesting actually the title. I'll just explain the title, Love Hard, because when you see the caption, there's love is in a particular type of script and hard is in a particular type of script.
Yep.
And that's because in what part of the film they talk about their favorite Christmas films. And one half of this couple, their favorite Christmas film is Love Actually. So the love is actually the font from the poster of Love Actually. And the other favorite Christmas film is Die Hard.
No.
And so the font is actually lifted, the hard is lifted from the poster of Die Hard. So when you see Love Hard, because it is this mashup of their two favorite Christmas films.
That is so convoluted. I'm sorry. That is
Yeah.
so. That is
Because when I
such.
thought, and when I first thought, I thought, well, that's definitely the love from Love Actually, because that's quite distinct. But I thought, why hard? Why Love Hard? But then it dawned on me after I'd seen the film. I was like, oh, that's why. So it took a while for it to get there, but that's why. It's like Love Actually and Die Hard. Love Hard.
That is so such a convoluted route to go through to get to something that sounds for all the world like a porn film.
Yes,
So cool. All right.
exactly.
So tell us what happens in Love
So
Hard.
basically, their premise is the female star of the film, played by Nina Dobrev
Yep.
from Vampire Diaries fame. She is sort of like unlucky in love, and she's so unlucky in love that she actually has a blog where she records her failed. I don't. Is it? I can tell my ignorance here. They're like Tinder dates. That's not the saucy one, is it?
Tinder dates. Yeah, Tinder dates is the saucy one. Tinder is kind of the one that started off just about hooking up and having sex, and then has somehow sort of morphed into an actual legitimate. I'm trying to find love here.
This was like a dating app, so I'm not sure if it is actually the saucy one or whether it's just like, hey, we're going to meet up for dinner and then we're going to take it from there. But this was basically she says one of it is like they're when you sort of swipe to say yes, this person looks great, I'm going to be your match,
Yep.
and she sort of is a really bad picker, and so she's noticed that how some people their picture is like 20 years old or their attributes are nothing like their actual person. And
Yep.
so she's been doing this as like blogging, so she's looking for love, but she's also knows that there's gold to be mined out of these disastrous dates that she's
Yeah.
had. And so she does swipe on this one guy who it looks like on the surface of it is her perfect date. He's really handsome, he likes the same things, they discuss the same films and music, and they just seem to like each other. And then they started talking on the phone, and like his voice matches his face, and they just get on so well. And he just says, oh, I would so wish that you'd be with me for Christmas. And she decides, oh, what the heck, I'm going to go and meet you. But she doesn't have him, as it's like spies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so she
Yeah.
turns up at his door, and basically she's been catfished. I don't know where this expression
Catfish.
comes from, but basically she turns up at his door and he looks nothing like his image. He
Yeah.
has been using the image of this guy he went to school with, this handsome, rugged, all, every woman's dream sort of handsome man, when he himself is like quite a short um,
East Asian boy.
East Asian boy. I would say I don't know what his ethnicity is, whether it's Chinese or whether, but he's of a Southeast Asian sort of ethnicity,
Yeah.
and he's not someone that you would particularly look twice at because he's not he's not heavy
He,
building.
he's played by Jimmy O Yang, who is like your stereotypical kind of nerd look.
Yeah, he's like a nerdy boy, and so then the rest of the film is them navigating the sort of the whole dichotomy of like, and she actually meets the guy whose picture he has been using.
Yeah.
And so she basically sort of lies to him effectively, saying that when he says, oh, I love to go rock climbing, she's like, I hate rock climbing. No, I love rock climbing. And so she does the same thing to him effectively, but she almost like justifies it to herself that actually I'm just being his perfect woman, when in fact she's not been true to herself. And so
real life catfish.
You get to see, how the lies people tell, the consequences there are, and that sometimes being more true to yourself, you're more likely to find sort of true love. So it goes down that Hallmark fare.
Yes.
But for me, it was like a step above like the normal sort of Hallmark type film, because they normally are perfect woman who it's like it's inexplicable why they're still single, and then it's like a perfect man and it's like, how is he still single? And then they meet and it's like, how we'd never met before, we're just perfect for each other. And then the rest of the film is like showing you just how perfect for each other they actually are.
Yeah.
Whereas in this film it shows you that actually they look like a complete mismatch, but as the film goes on it's like, actually don't worry about him, he is the one you should be with. So you sort of are rooting for the underdog.
Well, as I said, I saw the trailer for this film on Netflix because I saw Love Hard, and I thought, hang on, why is Netflix pushing front and center a film called Love Hard? I've already told you what I think the title sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds a bit dodgy.
I was like, what the heck? So I watched the trailer, and the trailer I was like, okay, I've seen the film. I know where this is going.
Yeah,
I know what's going to happen. And
so it's got all the Christmas things. It's got the overachieving older brother who like sort of dominates the younger underachiever. Mm-hmm. It's got there's a musical number. There's like a Christmas dinner scene. There's a public denouement, as it were, where everyone does everything in front of hundreds of people instead of doing it in private.
Christmas rom-com, pretty much. It replaces the dash to the airport.
Yeah.
So all in all, how many stars would you give it?
I would give it a 3. I mean, I thought it was a step above the average fare, because I've seen some of these ones, and you just watch them and you think, well, that's an hour and a half of my life I'm never getting back again. But so I thought it was a step above those, and I thought it was enjoyable, and I did genuinely like both characters. After a while, I could see that it was sensitively done for all that it's a load of old tosh. So I thought, it's fun. It's a Christmas film, and without the ridiculous title, I thought it was but it wasn't. It isn't going to replace Love Actually in the sort of top 10 most beloved Christmas films out there, but it's fun. So I would give it a 3.
From what it sounds like, actually, I just realized that I just assumed that the Nina Dobrev character was the one who liked Love Actually, and the Jimmy O Yang character was the one who liked Die Hard. Well, don't tell me. I hope it's the other way around, because that would be a nice wrinkle. But anyway, it sounds like the people who made this film also would not want this to knock Love Actually off any perch.
No.
So yeah, it's.
There is quite a funny scene actually, where just to remind me, where they are actually watching Love Actually. So it's one of those films that references the culture in which people live in. Because unlike most films, people they're just unaware of what's television. I've never heard it.
Yeah, they're hermetically sealed.
And on this, they're watching a scene from Love Actually, and they're looking at Andrew Lincoln, and one of them's going, "Wasn't he in Game of Thrones?" No, he wasn't in Game of Thrones. And so it's that conversation that we've all had.
Yeah.
So they were aware of the cultural references around these scenes.
Okay.
So I thought that was quite a nice touch, where they did actually recognise that the film.
Sorry, no. Having said that, there is something that is very interestingly done with, because I reviewed the Eternals last week, right? And in Eternals, there's a bit where somebody looks at one of the guys in Eternals and goes, "Oh my God, Superman!" And obviously, Superman is in the DC universe, not in the Marvel universe. And so it comes into this, and there's another bit where somebody refers to Batman and says, "Oh, not only Batman has a butler," and everything like that. And it made me think, hang on a second, wait. Are they saying that within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's a DC Cinematic Universe? And I was like, what? But does that mean that Superman and Batman exist as entities? Do they exist as actual heroes, or do they
Or
exist
they exist
as
as like a
like the
they're
comic book
the
of Superman?
fiction. They're
And,
fiction.
yeah, and it was kind of like they put that in the script for Eternals to mess with you, because I was sitting there going, how does he know what Superman is? He's in the Marvel world. But yeah, but anyway, or just along those lines, just along those lines. But yeah, Love Hard is something that I think that I might end up watching in the background on a day when I have given up on finding something else to watch. It's like, I need to do something here. I need to edit this podcast. So while I'm editing this podcast, I will have Love Hard on in the background, because that requires the minimum number of brain cells.
Yeah.
But
Well, I watched it on my laptop when my mum was poorly. I had my headphones on. I was just like when she was sleeping, when she was quite ill. So I was just sort of sat in the room, but I didn't want to have the television on loud. So I was like, okay, I can watch this without keeping an eye on my mum, keeping an eye on this. And so yeah, it was an easy film for that. So yeah, do that.
all right, cool, good stuff. So at the end